Welcome back to Four Faces. Today we're going to talk about the UAW, United Automotive Workers. You know, they're on strike. And I'm pretty sure you heard about this already. But let's talk about this. Because some people are upset about this strike, right? And you know who's upset, right? It's usually people with what? With money, even some people with no money. Even some people like, oh, why do they need 40% increase in salary? Why is that? I ain't getting no raise. But let me tell you something. The problem is people in America have short-term memory. In 2008, 2009, basically the early 2000s, if you don't remember, let me give you a refresher that the UWA, they gave up a lot of things. Why? Because Chrysler and Ford and GM, they was complaining about, oh, we going bankrupt, we running out of money, we got to close down our plants, we're not selling that many cars. So what did the union do? They went and they took a lot of punches in the stomach. Yeah, they took a lot of punches in the stomach. They took them gut pains and they ate them. And what's some of the things they gave up? They gave up a lot of things. Right? I'm not going to go through every little thing, but go look it up. You'll see they gave up a lot of things. And one of the biggest things they gave up was some of their health benefits, especially for the people that retire. They took a drastic measures in their pay scale. Same thing for the temporary workers. I mean, they gave up a lot of stuff just so they could keep this company afloat, keep these auto companies afloat, such as Ford Motors, Chrysler, right? And they say, listen, we're going to try to keep this company going on, and we're going to take the hit here, right? I'm talking about the union workers. I'm not talking about management, right? They still, and here's the funny thing, they got a raise. Some of these guys getting 20%, 30% raise, maybe even more than that. Some of these CEOs, they getting paid millions of dollars, and it's not my opinion. You can go look at the Wall Street Journal. Right, go look at that. Go look at Bloomberg. Right, look at them. You ain't gotta believe my word. Do your research. But the biggest issue I see is that those who are complaining about the unions, the auto workers wanting more money, are those who have short-term memory, or they don't want you to remember. Right, that's another side of the scale. They don't want you to think about why these union workers are like, oh, I need more money, because once again, they took a big hit in the early 2000s. I believe it was 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. And what happened was they're like, listen, we're going to do what we can as a union, because we believe that as a union, we're going to work together with Corp and try to keep this company afloat. Why? Because obviously, if the companies are not viable or durable, then, obviously the workers, they're going to lose their job. So what did they do? In 2023, they said, listen, we need some money here. You guys been making huge profits, and we want to eat too. We want to eat too. That's all they say. Listen, give me some food on the plate. Let me eat my chicken and my Big Mac, right? That's costing me a little bit more money. I got mortgage to pay. I got bills to pay. Everything's going up. We all know this. Not nothing new. Right? With that being said, I'm going to tell you now, for someone who just bought a car just recently, these automakers, they're making money. Don't let no one tell you they're not. They're making money. Right? And the thing is that you can't say, okay, we need help, as a corporation. From a corporation side, like, listen, we need help. We need some of you, you and give some give backs, we got to work some deals out so we can stay, viable, so we can stay afloat. And even said back in 2000, early 2000, yeah, we're going to help you. But now it's 2023. I mean, it's over a decade later. Don't you think you want to help them out too? You was giving the execs money. You gave some of them guys $20 million. I mean, come on. Now, once again, I'm not saying that every union worker is looking to get paid $1 million. I mean, I get that. No one's trying to be unrealistic. I'm pretty sure everybody understand that every worker, by the way, is over 107,000. auto workers. I'm pretty sure they all ain't saying, listen, I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's not what they're saying. But what they are saying is be fair. Be fair about it. Come on, man. It's been over a decade, man. Come on, I mean, we haven't had no. We're not eating right. We're not eating right. I'm gonna speak for them. They're not eating right. Some of them are suffering because of their benefits is not good enough. Some of them don't know what's going to happen when they retire. Some of them are only making $16 an hour. Different parts of the states, of course, that may vary. But the point is, some of them are temp, and they prolonging them from even becoming permanent. I mean, there's so many issues, right? Now, I'm not going to make this a political thing and talk about what Biden said and what Trump said and what Obama said. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Because at the end of the day, what needs to be done is fairness. And fairness is what? That's the union workers, the UAW, getting a nice portion, a fair portion for what they sacrificed over 10 years ago. And that's what they're asking for, right? And like I said before, this is being reported in even some of the business magazines that, yes, they can afford it. Now, with that being said, I was listening to some of the CEOs. Yes, I listened to some clowns, because they are clowns. They are clowns with a big red nose. And they're like, we tried everything. We gave them everything we could. We gave them a back shirt off our backs, and then, but you're lying. You haven't given a shirt off your backs. You're not even getting a lint in your pocket to them. You know what I'm saying? Be honest, be fair. Give them a really great, decent contract where they can live off, where they can go and feel good about. Something that don't make them feel like they gotta go sell bottles every day, right? Just so they can make ends meet. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. So yes, I'm standing up for the union. Yes, I am. I'm standing for, you know what? We all should stand up for them. We all should. It's not shouldn't just be a me thing, a he thing, she thing. Think about that. We all should. Because at the end of the day, I understand, yes, that, things happen in this world, as far as companies not being viable, as far as unions have to take, not getting a short end of the stick. I get all that. But these people right now, at this point in time, in this day and age, should get some type of, get a better contract. Point blank, simple as that. Now, with that being said, you know what? Hopefully, if you don't believe me, that's fine. But go ahead and do the research before you critique and criticize some of these unions about what they want, what they don't want, especially the UAW, right? United Automotive Workers. Go look up the history. Go see what was said in early 2000, how much they would come back, and then once they become profitable, they was going to sit and they was going to go and help out the workers. They said that was their word. Their word was that once we become viable, once we get to a position where we're making a profit, we're going to help out the workers. That was what they said. That's what the corporation said, right? So you know what? Keep your word. Keep your word. Help them out. Do what you said you're going to do. Now, with that being said, last thing I'm going to say. Now, from a business perspective, right, I understand business in a sense, right? No, I'm just going to be honest with you. And this might sound maybe it might sound counterintuitive, but this is what's going to happen. And this is the unfortunate thing. And I just want everybody to be aware of this, especially people in the union. You got to keep aware of this. What they going to do, what they probably going to do, they probably give you just about what you're asking for. Just about. I say everything, right? Just about what you're asking for. Now you might say, oh, wow, that's good. It's not going to be good in the long term. Because what these corporations, they always do this. And don't believe me, check the record. And for someone who runs his own business, I'm going to tell you now, this is what's going to happen. They're going to probably say yes to they're going to concede to a lot of the things that you're asking for. But they also going to set a plan in motion where they're going to try to lay off quite a bit of the workers. And they might not do it right away. I should say that they're probably going to do that right away, right? But in addition to that, the bigger thing is if the contract passed, or when the contract passed, because they're going to let the contract pass. When it passed, they're going to be setting up plans. The CEOs, the managements and all that. And they're going to try to set a way in which they could relinquish a lot of the workers. Now, that's going to be extremely unfortunate, because let me just say something on the backside of all this. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible. And I just want you to think of this. I understand sometimes our emotions get high. I got that. Sometimes I understand that sometimes we get frustrated, we get angry, flustered. But you got to understand this, and you got to think about this from a business perspective. When I say think about it from a business perspective, I'm not saying that they're right. What I'm saying, though, you got to understand what their next move going to be. You get what I'm saying? It's about what will their next move. You got to think like this. If they give us this raise, what is going to be their next move? That's what I'm trying to get at. Well, I'm going to tell you, their next move is going to find a way where they could relinquish a lot of workers, whether that means outsourcing some of the work, sending some of the work, labor to different countries, right? Whether that means scaling down the amount of production, whether that means rushing and speeding up the process of electric cars, because as you should know, electric cars take less workers to build, takes less workers to manufacture them, takes less production, less time, because guess why? There's not a whole bunch of stuff. There's no emissions in there, and all the other parts, engines and all that stuff is basically gone, right? You don't need all that. So which means if you don't need engines, you don't need emissions and tailpipes and all that, then you don't need that many workers to put the car together, right? So there's going to be things that they're going to do. I'm guaranteeing this. There's going to be things that they're going to do to try to reduce the workforce. They're not going to do it right away, but I guarantee you they're going to do it. Now, who will this benefit? Obviously, it's going to benefit the company. But who else will this benefit? There's going to benefit, and I'm sorry to say this, but this is the reality. It's going to benefit the shareholders. Because at the end of the day, every company is in business for what? Profits. That's what capitalism is about. Capitalism is about profits. It's not about hugging and giving your workers handshakes and kisses. I'm just being honest. I know some people don't want to hear this, but that's just the truth. It's a business, and which means they have to be loyal to their shareholders, right? Think about this. If you own a part of, let's say, Ford Motors, right? You own a part of that. Do you want to lose? You bought some stocks in there. Do you want to lose money from that? No, no, you don't want to do that, right? They gotta satisfy their shareholders, and which means to satisfy shareholders, they have to make a profit. How you make profits? Well, the easiest thing, the quickest thing you could do is, unfortunately, get rid of people. Why? You get rid of the salary, you get rid of the health benefits, right? You get rid of all those things, compensation, all that you get rid of. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. And I listen, I'm just telling you the other side of everything. There's two sides to everything. Yes, do the union workers deserve the increase rate? Of course they do. Whether they would give them to them, don't give them to them, be honest with you, these companies would have went forward and did the same thing they're going to do now when they give them the raise eventually. They would do the same thing. It might take a little bit longer, but now they're going to be even more motivated to get this in act. All right, with that being said, leave a comment below. This is Four Faces. We'll talk.